welcome back to Big Balls Fantasy Football. We are here with Prost, live from San Diego, who right now is first place in our biggest balls of them all, Fantasy League. Prost, what do you got to say for yourself?
I never doubted it.
Pompous ass. Anyway.
He's first going into the playoffs, so we really don't know what's going to happen.
I tell people the same thing. There's a couple weeks I'm not in first, and it's like, you know what? Enjoy it, because week 14 and week 16 matters when you're on top. Week 14 is nothing, just another week.
Yeah, we call what you have on your back a target, sir, and Jenilee is coming for it. I'm in mourning not only for my Bears, but I'm in mourning for my fantasy team in our league. I came in third to last, 5-8.
Yeah, he sucked it really bad, but I have to play this week because I'm fifth, so I do not get a bye week like Prost does here. So
lucky you.
I got to win this week to keep it going.
So
now, I'm guaranteed to play week 15, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you're gonna end up like your Packers, falling flat on their face. So. I know our Bears have been doing crappy in the division. I mean, we have a super tight division, and the Lions seem to be suddenly running away with it. What do you got to say for your Packers?
We tied the Vikings at least.
Oh.
You know what? The Packers in Detroit, I thought I was watching like a high school team. They couldn't stop anybody from defense. It wasn't so much gap control. They grabbed the guy. They couldn't tackle him. But the offensive line could not block anything. It was amazing.
Yeah, I really expected Flynn to play better than he did. I mean, he just couldn't get anything going with that offense. So it was a disappointment because I thought the game would be closer, and it was the first game of Thanksgiving, and it was just like, wah, wah, wah.
Yep. no other better way of putting it.
When you have no offensive line, there's not a quarterback you could have put back with any better. You know, not saying Flynn's didn't have a really bad game, but he never had any time.
So what's the word? Well, we'll get into the rest of the injuries in a moment. What is the latest word on Aaron Rodgers, if he's going to play this week or not in Week 14?
He's not medically cleared to play yet. It's only Tuesday. Once he's medically cleared, we're talking about putting him in. Personally, if we can't win the left with whoever's quarterback, I'll just put him on IR. See what you can get out of the second string guys. Reps. So we have if this situation happens again next, we have a chance to at least compete. Because basically the season fell apart and he could go out and crack his shoulder. So
yeah. So your opinion is, as a Packer fan and as a partial owner, you think they should just sit him and just say screw it to the season?
Well, if he can play, he can play. We've seen how good Detroit is. I mean, they're going to shoot themselves in the foot. A game and a half lead is nothing. If the Green Bay had been anything but Detroit, if Green Bay had, how can I say this? If they'd have shown up, you had 4 turnovers, you had 2 kickoffs out of bounds where you get the ball on the 40-yard line. Any other team would have beaten the Lions on Thursday. So, personally, I wouldn't give up on the Pack yet, but if you lose, now you're 2.5 back with 3 to play. That's a problem.
I got you, man. I got you. So, let's get into the rest of the injuries besides Aaron Rodgers, who everybody in fantasy is waiting to have come back. Let's get the balls to the wall injury report going.
Okay. It's a little early for the full-fledged injuries to come out. I'm just going by what I remember from last week and seeing on football. The concussion list is long and distinguished. Cleveland still has no quarterbacks. They went out and got your boy Caleb Haney today.
I know.
Yeah, they're desperate. They are super desperate over there.
First they got Jason Campbell, and then they got Caleb Haney.
Campbell both concussed.
Yeah.
Le'Veon Bell still has a concussion. He was Batman. I think he's the worst of anybody. He was completely clueless as to what happened in that game. He looked rough. Deshaun Giants got a concussion late, but those were Thursday concussions. They should be okay for football. The Jets put Joshua Cribbs on IR today. I don't know if anybody really cares. and Green Bay put Jonathan Frankel on IR. I don't know whether he was hurt that bad. They've already cleared Bell, who hopefully, if he can't play quarterback, can be an offensive lineman. I don't think we give it a running back.
Yeah, everybody's picking up our former players, Jenilee. I mean, they must have been good at some point. And people are still believing in them for some reason.
Yeah, but they're not winning with them, so
exactly.
That's kind of what happens there. Do you have any info on Cutler? On our Cutler?
No, not really. It's still early in the week. He's talking about coming back. I'm still a McCown fan. I think they're like kicking him in the shins and hitting the ribs to keep him coming back into the game.
Well, I think it's a similar situation to the Rodgers that if we don't have a shot, I mean, now it's a super long shot. There'd have to be a million things to happen.
Right.
Then you might as well just keep him out, you know what I mean, for the last 4 games. I mean, why have him go in if there's not even a shot for the playoffs? It just seems dumb. You know, it seems like why put Rodgers in to get injured further if you can't make the playoffs?
And there's also the old Bears theory, you know, maybe we'll actually lose a few more games and get a better draft pick.
That's what I'm looking at with the Packers at this point.
Exactly.
You must play for the draft. The Packers at least split with the Lions, whereas the Bears were swept.
Yeah.
So the only thing that the Bears have to hope for is complete total collapse by the Lions and beating the Packers week 17.
Yeah. It can happen.
Yeah.
That's why I'm dressed in black and...
One in how many million?
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with you, Jenilee. I think the next time the Bears win is the next time I'll put on my Bears colors because I'm disgusted. I mean, we talked about it at the beginning of the show. It was just bad. Let's go back to Le'Veon Bell for just a second. I have a little bit of a gripe with the referees, and I don't know if anybody agrees with me. I'm watching that game with Pittsburgh Steelers fans, and they were a little pissed off about the fact that some guy goes helmet to helmet on him, breaks his helmet, and there's no penalty call at all. Concussed to the point of, like, you don't know where the hell he is. But no call whatsoever.
And that's one of a few bad calls that really happened this week. You know, it seemed like we saw a few more bad calls this week that are being discussed more than a lot of previous weeks this season. You know, there was that bad call in the Washington game, and then, of course, the Steelers coach being on the field.
Yeah.
You know, there was all kind of interesting things that happened and some bad calls.
Yeah, definitely.
That's an illegal procedure penalty. They got to stay that guy on these teams. That's an illegal procedure penalty for him to be having a foot on the field. He can't come out. He can come out and gripe at the officials about stuff. But to wander around the field and watching the kickoff return on the big screen, that was planned from the minute one. I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah, definitely to make the place go completely ballistic. So I think that's about it for the injuries. Let's move on to the one-hit blunder of the week.
One thing about Le'Veon Bell, I understand the intent of the rule, is they said the minute the helmet comes off, the play is stopped, it's blown dead. And that's to prevent somebody from doing, Moose Johnson used to do it back in the day, and it was a tight end that did it. When the helmet comes off, these guys keep running for extra yards with no helmet on.
Right.
I can understand blowing the play dead there. But when Bell got hit, his momentum of his knocked out body carried him and the ball over the plane.
Right.
That should have been a touchdown.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he was not even conscious at that point, but you have to let that play out. If you just let the ball hit the ground, I don't understand it exactly.
Well, and when you take a blow like that, you should at least get rewarded for it, for crying out loud. I mean, come on. At least prize fighters get money when they lose. So it was really, really stupid. Okay, let's go on to our... Speaking of blunders like that, let's go on to our one-hit blunders, man.
My favorite blunder, this is our TV version blunder. There'll be a different one tomorrow. This guy, he filled in as the number 2 receiver at the beginning of the year when Blackman was serving his suspension. He's now filling in for the injured Mike Brown. NFL Network said to pick up this guy who's owned in like 0.2% of the leagues, Ace Sanders, a wide receiver.
Right.
In the last 3 games, he's been targeted 8 times in each game. The first and third most recent games, he had 8 catches, 61 yards, and 8 catches, 67 yards, no touchdowns. 2 weeks ago in Houston, he had 4 catches for 61 yards, and one of them was a 51-yard play. So I'm calling him my one-hit blunder, especially based on the fact that, we tend to disagree on this show because we disagree. We don't change our minds halfway through the show. NFL Network came out, and one of the announcers was saying how on Thursdays teams dumb back the playbook, and they tend to run more on Thursdays. There's less passing, so don't expect to see a big passing game on Thursday nights. It's statistical tradition through this year. I can buy that. And as soon as Ace Sanders was pushed as the guy to pick up off the waiver wire by a different correspondent, this same guy said, "Oh yeah, he's the one. He's going to be the guy that surprises on Thursday night." So he changed his mind because they must have filmed segments 10 minutes apart. I love you, NFL Network. You're giving me a job one day. It's not going to be working for you either.
No, you're too smart for NFL Network. We're all too smart for NFL Network. So, so that you're picking that one. So what about for next week?
Well, Ace Sanders is.
Oh, he's the one for next week. Got it. So who did you pick last week?
Oh, last week I went. Caught me off guard here. We look away from the camera. That's okay. They get to do that on the networks too.
It's all right.
I was saving that for tomorrow's show. I picked up Barry Cunningham, St. Louis running back.
Right.
He waiver wire because Zach Stacy was going to be out. Turns out Zach Stacy played. Barry Cunningham got you 2 rushes, 16 yards, no catches.
And Zach Stacy got me some points too, my lord.
And I know Percy Harvin's been basically your blunder weekly. Every week he's like on the radar, and he didn't even play, so I'd say he blundered, right?
Blunder Emeritus got a cortisone shot to the hip. And
he's definitely the...
fell back to earth. He threw a pass that was incomplete, rushed once for 10 yards, had 4 receptions for 25 yards, and Ray Rice fell back to earth, 12 for 32 rushing, and 6 catches for 38 yards. So I'll leave those 2 guys alone now. They've proven themselves to be total blunders. Percy, I'm going to keep you on for a while. You amuse me.
Oh yeah, he's our Bradshaw. He's your Bradshaw of this year. I had Bradshaw last year, who was my whipping boy. Percy Harvin's your whipping boy, man.
And he's got a couple more weeks we can play.
Oh yeah, my boyfriend was very sad that he didn't play.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, because he didn't put a couple people in on the Thursday games, and then found out that Percy wasn't going to play. So he's a little heartbroken over there.
Damn. Oh man, cool. Well, that's our show, everybody. Good luck in Week 14 here. First week of the playoffs for some people. Some people a bye week. Lucky bastard.
A little vacation.
Yeah.
That's right. And other people don't start the playoffs till next week. So, of course, we'll have more playoff information going into next week as some of us are going to be through around and other people will just be starting. So.
Got it. Yeah. So don't forget to go to bigballsfantasyfootball.com. That's our hub where you can find our video casts and our podcasts that are up all the time. Listen to our podcast on every Wednesday when we usually get our video cast posted up as well. That's at blogtalkradio.com/GRR.
And, of course, go to our Facebook, facebook.com/bigballsfantasyfootball. Like us. We put everything on there every week as it happens. And tweet us at bigballsfball. We are racking up some followers on there and, retweet some of our stuff. But we post a lot of funny stuff on there, too.
Definitely. Any last words, Prost?
No, I'm going to be enjoying my time off this week after tomorrow's show, and we'll be back for us to do it again next week. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
Alrighty.
Awesome. Thank you, Prost.
Alrighty.
So,
Good night.
All right.